On Monday, Russia formally ended its unilateral moratorium on deploying ground-launched short and intermediate-range missiles. The Foreign Ministry announced that mounting deployments of US and NATO systems near Russian borders rendered the voluntary restraint irrelevant. That moratorium had been in place since the United States withdrew from the INF Treaty in 2019. Russia stated that the growing presence of US missile systems in Europe and the Asia-Pacific, particularly the Typhon mid-range capability launchers equipped with Tomahawk and SM-6 missiles, has changed the strategic balance. These systems have already been deployed in the Philippines and are slated for rotational placements in Germany and possibly Japan. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev, now serving as deputy chair of the Security Council, publicly blamed NATO's aggressive posture for the decision. In a warning posted on social media, he said, "Expect further steps," framing Russia's response as defensive in the face of growing Western provocation. To understand the gravity of this shift, we need to revisit the original INF Treaty. Signed in 1987 by the United States and the Soviet Union, it banned land-based missiles with ranges between 500 and 5,500 kilometers. The treaty led to the destruction of over 2,600 missiles by the early 1990s and stood as one of the Cold War's most impactful arms control agreements. That changed in 2019 when the US exited the pact, citing Russian violations and the absence of China from the framework. In the years since, the US has developed new systems like the Precision Strike Missile and operationalized the Typhon launchers. These platforms have reignited concerns in Moscow and Beijing, with their ability to strike deep into adversary territory from mobile, land-based positions. Russia's decision now comes amid intensifying geopolitical tension. President Trump recently issued an ultimatum to Moscow, warning of tariffs on Russian exports if the war in Ukraine does not end by August 8th. He also confirmed the relocation of US nuclear submarines closer to Russian waters in response to hostile rhetoric from Russian officials. Meanwhile, the war in Ukraine has escalated once again, with aerial bombardments by Russia increasing through the summer. The Kremlin's latest announcement appears to be both a strategic move and a diplomatic signal. It is no longer bound by the arms control rules of the past. Despite the growing rift, both countries still abide by the New START Treaty, which limits strategic nuclear warheads and launchers, but that agreement is set to expire in February 2026, and with no successor treaty under negotiation, the future of global nuclear arms control hangs in the balance. Russia has made it clear it is prepared to redeploy missile types once banned under the INF. The Kremlin insists that its actions will be proportional to deployments by NATO and the United States. However, Western leaders fear a return to the destabilizing arms race of the 1980s. We are entering an era where arms control regimes no longer offer the security they once did. With Russia ending its decade-long restraint and the US continuing forward with regional missile deployments, the risk of miscalculation is rising. This is more than a political standoff. It's a strategic shift with global implications.